Imagine an empire stretching from modern-day Turkey to the Hindu Kush in India, enduring over 2 centuries, yet remembered today mainly as the antagonists in the story of Chanukah. This is the tale of the Seleucid Empire, a saga of conquest, ambition, and relentless struggle for survival. Forgotten Empires and Kingdoms, Part 8. The Seleucid Empire rose from the chaotic aftermath of Alexander the Great's death in 323 BC, when his realm was divided among his generals, the Diadochi. Amidst intense power struggles, Seleucus I Nicator seized the moment, capturing Babylon in 312 BC and establishing the Seleucid Empire. He reconquered most of Alexander's eastern territories, and after a short war, he solidified his eastern rule with an alliance with Mauryan Emperor Chandragupta. In return, he received 500 war elephants, which proved decisive in his victory at the Battle of Ipsus in 301 BC against Antigonus I, securing his dominance over Asia Minor and Syria. Seleucus's empire was a melting pot of Greek, Persian, and local cultures, embodying Alexander's dream of a blended Hellenistic and Persian civilization. Despite expanding from the Mediterranean to the Indus River, the empire's vastness was its Achilles heel. Following Seleucus's assassination in 281 BC, it began to fracture from relentless pressure from Ptolemaic Egypt, the rising power of Rome, and internal rebellions. In 245 BC, Bactria and Parthia broke away. Antiochus the Great briefly revived the empire, reclaiming lost territories and expanding its reach, but his ambitions led to a catastrophic defeat by Rome at the Battle of Magnesia in 190 BC, signaling the beginning of the end, as Rome forced him into a humiliating peace, stripping the empire of its western territories. His son Antiochus IV Epiphanes nearly conquered Ptolemaic Egypt, but history does not remember his reign for military conquests, but for his role in one of history's most famous stories of resistance. In his attempt to Hellenize Judea, his desecration of the Second Temple sparked the Maccabean Revolt. Led by Judah Maccabee, the Judeans recaptured Jerusalem and rededicated the temple in 164 BC, an event celebrated in the Jewish festival of Chanukah. While Antiochus IV was preoccupied in Judea, Parthian king Mithridates I seized the eastern territories. Antiochus's attempts to regain control faltered. He defeated Artaxius I and reconquered Armenia, but died on his way back from a failed campaign in Parthia. Antiochus VII, Sidetes, recaptured Jerusalem in 134 BC and drove back the Parthians with Judean leader John Hyrcanus. But following Antiochus's death in 129 BC, a civil war erupted, further destabilizing the empire. John Hyrcanus declared Judean independence, Mithridates II and the Parthians recaptured the remaining eastern territories, and Tigranes the Great and the Armenians encroached from the north. By 100 BC, the once mighty Seleucid Empire was reduced to little more than Antioch and some Syrian cities. The final blow came in 63 BC, when Roman general Pompey the Great annexed Syria, ending the empire. Though the Seleucid Empire has faded into history, its legacy lives on in the cities it built, the cultures it shaped, and the stories of faith and resistance it inspired. Stories that continue to be told to this day. As always, don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps this channel grow, allowing us to bring you even more incredible stories. If you enjoyed this video, we release new episodes weekly, so click the bell icon so you never miss a future video. This is UnRecalled History. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.